The City of London, Britain's ancient share trading and financial capital. In the first 2 months of 2021, some of its biggest institutions have renewed their commitments to tackling the climate crisis. Key market players are making big statements, but will these translate into big moves further down the line? And will the answers be found by looking at Generation Z? We spoke to Matei Dan Vlad, president of the University College London Investment Society, to find out what city hitters should look out for in Gen Z as they take to the trading floor.
I do believe our generation, and this includes myself quite strongly, is definitely way more interested, focused, and cares a lot more about the issue of a sustainable future. It's our only chance as humans to be living on this planet Earth 2, 3, 500 years from now. All of us have been exposed through our, I guess, media and our universities. We're seeing a change, and we are definitely more inclined, I would say, compared to, let's say, my parents' generations, to raise issues when they happen and raise our concerns and use the voice and the platforms that we have to tackle issues that we might see in the workplace that don't really fit well with our core moral values or we find unethical. So that's definitely something that I think we'll bring to the table.
The city's interest in an ecologically sustainable future isn't new. In fact, there's been an Association for UK Sustainable Investment and Finance for nearly 3 decades, UCSIF. We asked UCSIF CEO James Alexander about the pace of change.
So I think we've got an amazing opportunity as the next generation moves into the city to start bringing the amazing awareness of social issues, of environmental issues, and that kind of inherent understanding and passion to address some of these issues and tackle these issues. But I think the city is absolutely woken up to the impact of climate change, the fact that it's happening now, the fact that it's something we need to address immediately. And I think the next generation coming into the city is even more aware of those issues and can start bringing those personal views and vision into the workplace. But we want to see government moving forward even further and even faster. We want to set out from the government a very clear roadmap of what industries are going to be the successful industries of the future. How are we going to move around? How are we going to heat our homes? How are we going to generate electricity? What is the industrial strategy for the UK? And then the finance sector has a really strong role to play in that and a clear role to play. But the finance sector can't do this all itself. This has to come from every sector of the economy. Government has to be leading change. The non-financial companies need to be acting. The public, how we as individuals invest our pensions and our savings. We have to think about this in every aspect of our lives. And clearly, of course, the city has got a really important role to play and is determined to step up to that. But building that transition, making that happen, thinking it through, there's a lot of work going on at the moment for that, and UCSIF, we're driving that change.
So where will the financial sector change? Matei thinks new technology could be the driving force in who gets a say on how the future of finance looks.
So the view on markets is definitely changing rapidly, in the sense that we as a young generation definitely feel entitled to have access to capital and financial markets. Access to financial markets and attaching issues to, let's say, movement in financial markets from outside of finance is something that is less of a concern for institutional investors or institutional traders or fund managers. This is much more, I guess, important in the retail space or on Twitter and so on and so forth. But the number one change that will happen, no matter what we think or want, in my personal opinion, is the impact of technology. The stalwarts of the City of London would have to shift their mindset around the impact of technology and around the impact that our core sort of skill set in sort of quantitative fields will impact their job as well, and the way their institutions function, and the way some institutions which may have this to their core will gain market share or slowly replace some of the big firms we are used to.
We have a city in transition, and there's a clear sense of hope that the city will find a new green direction for itself post-pandemic. What this means to those who are hostile to change, however, remains to be seen.